There we go.
And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Always Pressing PGA DFS podcast. We're back to preview the 2024 Olympics in Paris, France. Should be a doozy starting for you on Thursday, as we know this golf course kind of well in a roundabout way. We'll recap a little bit of the 3M Open and get you ready for the week's action. But first, you can find me on Twitter at BDintric, the podcast at Always Press DFS, and my co-host, as always, on Twitter at DFS Golf Gods. Jesse, how we doing, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. A little Tuesday, getting a day late. I was very busy with a bunch of stuff yesterday, so this works out very well for me. And it's the Olympics, so small field, not a whole lot to worry about this week. Any thoughts on Johnny Vegas and company at the 3M Open? I know we kind of briefly talked about it real quick.
Yeah, before I was tilting the fact that I had Johnny Vegas and Grazerman in a lineup that I didn't really care about and didn't put any money on. Johnny Vegas, I don't know, man. I didn't watch a single second of it. I have zero clue about anything. I just opened my DraftKings on Sunday and saw that he had won, and I had a good lineup with 5 or 6. So that's all I knew about that deal. It's such a weird tournament. It's like it's kind of like the ISCO or Barbasol, but just slightly better.
It's slightly better. Yes, I'll say that much. You got to avoid all the water, which is everywhere. So it feels like you're a depleted field at the Players' Championship almost, which is like boom or bust because some really good guys missed the cut because of just complete blow-ups. You had Chalk Clanton that didn't make the cut. That was fun.
He was the one guy in my lineup that did not make the cut last week.
Same with me. The one I was telling you about, the 5 or 6 I had. I got a really guy in Vegas and one just like you. And Clanton screwed it up, but that's I guess what we get for playing a chalky amateur at $9,900. But that's the name of that game. But yeah, it was fun. Johnny Vegas going to be 40 years old. He gets back to the winner's circle. He finished 17 under. Fun stat. He was 17 under on the back 9 during the week, even on the front 9.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's impressive stuff because they kept showing that Saturday and then it got better Sunday, obviously. So he dominated the back, just couldn't get it together on the front.
It's crazy that he only shot 1 under on Sunday and won still on that turn.
It got really windy over the weekend. On Sunday, it got really windy, windy. So that slowed guys down because like Cooch had a monster finish on Saturday to get him in there, chipped in for Eagle on 18 on Saturday to get him to final group. And then he just couldn't keep it together with all the weather and everything else. And he was playing luck box putting. He made like 1,000,000 feet of putt on Saturday. So you kind of knew that one was coming back to earth for Kuchar, which is always, a heartbreaking thing to see for Matt Kuchar. But other than that, it was fun. Like you said, it was kind of a weird tournament. All the big dogs were pretty much they just kind of hung out in Europe after the British Open. And we're waiting for the Olympics to talk about. With that said,
let's go.
Do you have any past event history on the Olympics?
I do have the event history. Obviously, it's been held in different
Brazil.
Countries, so obviously different courses every year. But in 1900, Charles Sands was the gold medal winner. I'm just kidding. More recently, 2016 is when golf came back to the Olympics. Justin Rose was the gold medal winner. Henrik Stenson silver. Matt Kuchar bronze. 2020 was in Tokyo, and Xander won the gold medal. Roy Sabatini won silver, and C.T. Pan won bronze. That's it.
That's a who's who of golf right there, folks.
Now, some course history. We got our asses kicked in the Ryder Cup here, correct?
We got smoked. This is I remember this one very vividly because we had a good team
2 years ago or 1 year ago. Was this last year?
No, last year was here on the mainland. We took care of business, I believe. No. Well, it was Paris because they're coming back to the mainland.
It was last year.
It was last year, yes. Yeah. Trying to block that out of my mind because that was a beatdown of epic proportion.
Yeah.
Was this the one where this is where Ricky conceded the putt.
Yes, to win the cup. Yes,
the final episode of Netflix full season 2 was the Ryder Cup. We almost had the fight between Rory and the caddy Bones and all that good stuff. And it was a beatdown of epic proportion because Zach Johnson is a bro and doesn't know how to coach. So we'll see how that goes. We don't need to go too much more into that, I guess. But I've already heard. I guess I'll give you the course preview real quick for those that don't know. It's the Olympic. It's Le Golf National in Paris, France, par 71. A little less
it wasn't here. That was 2018 when it was here. We did get our asses kicked 17.5 to 10.5.
Yeah, that was the one where we saw afterwards. It was like Fleetwood and Molinari in bed with the trophy, and it was Mollywood. That was like the Mollywood year.
Yes.
Last year, and then we got beat down in Rome
last year.
Yeah, it was in Rome. We got smoked in Rome last. That's what I thought. I was like, it felt like a little farther back. So I remember the Mollywood thing very good. And that was actually like a fun Euro team to root for. It felt like where this one last year was, we were already kind of pissed off at Zach Johnson. Right. So that didn't work out well. But we're at Le Golf National in Paris, France. Again, par 71, a little less than 7,200 yards. You mentioned the Ryder Cup was here in 2018. We've seen the DP World Tours play the Open de France since 1991 here. So like Alex Noren's in the field. He's won this event before. That'll be talked about a lot. What you'll see here is there's 10 holes with water in play, very narrow fairways. Now, what we were expecting, because the Ryder Cup was the last like big event we saw here, massive rough. Like there was fairway straight to like 3-inch rough. They didn't have any intermediate rough. A lot of the like Tom Kim's come out and said it, and some other guys have flat out said this rough is not nearly as bad this year. Like eventually it gets penal, but you can miss the fairway a little bit more here, which is good to hear. At the same time, it's a less than driver golf course. It's I would love Cam Davis here, honestly, because he gets his 3-wood, rock and roll, have some fun, but he's obviously not here. It's an approach game, and you're gonna have all different types of approaches. You have 3 par 5s, they're 550 to 600. That's uniform. Then you have 4 par 4s, 2 are over 200, 2 are like 170-ish, give or take, 170, 180. So different systems there. Par 4s all over the course. You have a 375 all the way to like a 480. So they vary tremendously. Still got to be good in the par 4 scoring world, obviously. So lots of fun stuff in that regard. But it's just avoid the water. Good thing it's a no-cut event. So, you could say bogey avoidance at the same time. You could say birdie or better. What guys can go crazy type thing in this event. But in the end, it's guys that can keep it in the fairway, good approach game, get hot with the putter. It's a POA bent grass mix putting green. The greens are not super huge, and it's weird because there's not a lot of trees on this course. If you remember watching it, people are like sitting on hills watching it. That's why it feels a lot like sawgrass almost. It really does. There's a lot of sawgrass here, but a lot of like pothole bunkers as well. They bring that Euro feel, links feel to it. So again, off the drive, you have to know where you're hitting the golf ball, basically. So it's going to be interesting. The best of the best should play well here. But then again, you mentioned CT Pan and Rory Sabatini winning medals in Japan. So anything's possible. But I will say this much. Rory McIlroy is on his shit-talking self right now because someone asked Rory what the rough looks like, and he says you should ask the Americans because I was never in it. So, yeah, he's ready to rock and roll on that one. But what stats are you looking at this week?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of your typical stuff, especially for a no-cut event. You do need to go low and make plenty of birdies. So approach, birdie or better percentage, par 5 scoring, that kind of thing.
Yep, it's going to be, and not knowing the course, a no-cut event, it's just going to be who can get like literally fairway hot putter. Is the way I look at it. It's as annoying as that sounds and as simple as that sounds, and we'll obviously set you up with what looks like the best on paper. But that's where we're at on this one. So let's talk about it. DraftKings, 60 golfers again. No cut event. 10K range, though. We have 6 golfers. Well, we have 3 in the 10K, 2 in the 11K, and Scotty Scheffler. Scotty Scheffler's 12.5. We got Xander at 11.6, top 2 players in the world. Rory McIlroy at 11.1. John Rahm coming off his Live London win at 10.7. That was sketchy. I don't know if you saw that one at all. Ludwig Aubert at 10.3 and Morikawa at 10.2. So you could obviously make a case for any of these players, but who do you like up here?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Scotty. I'll probably end up playing him just because, I don't know, it's just what I typically do. I'll say John Rahm looks to be maybe the lowest owned of the bunch. You can make a case for all of them, and they all rate out very well. I don't know why you wouldn't, I don't know why you would exclude 1 or 2. If you look at Rory on this golf course, he's actually finished 3rd and 4th in 2 out of the 3 events that he's played here. So he's got good course history. It's 2016, 2010. That was a long time ago, but there was an event held here, obviously, during that time, and he's had some success. So if you want to play the course history angle, Rory would be a guy that I would definitely check out. I feel like Ludwig, it will mean a lot just because, obviously smaller country. I'm sure he's very well known, and in Europe, especially, the Olympics are huge. When you win a gold medal or any kind of medal, you become a overnight celebrity. So I'd say he's ready to go. Otherwise, just kind of pick your poison.
Yep, I'm with you. Pick your poison. Scotty seems like the go-to here because if you're talking fairway finder, you're talking like he's number one in the field in good drives over the last 24 rounds. He's one of the best approach players. He's the best in the field in par four, so on and so forth. So Scotty rates out great, and you can afford him. You definitely can in a no-cut event. But Xander's, defending gold medalist. He's the defending Open champion. He's won 2 majors this year. Xander definitely is worth a shot with you there. Rory, I'm just always worried about. Would I be shocked if he won it? No. But it seems like he's just, to me, such a mental midget these days. I don't know. Maybe I'm just overlooking it. But when the lights get really bright, Rory kind of falls back a bit. The stats don't show it, but he won the Scottish Open, but then disappeared for the Open Championship. Anytime a major's involved, Rory disappears. This, to me, is like a kind of it's more of a glorified elevated event, I guess. But Rory's out for me. We'll see how that pans out on my luck on Sunday. John Rahm's the guy I'm looking at here at 10-7. You mentioned he's probably the lowest owned in this group, coming off the Live London win, where good old God dang it, Hatton missed a putt to force a playoff on the 18th hole. Convenient, his teammate missed the putt for that. That was fun. But Rahm also played well at the British Open, so I think he's coming into form here. We know he's got a great approach game, so I don't mind Rahm here, and he played phenomenal in the Ryder Cup as well. And then Morikawa, it's one of those, if Morikawa can just get his putter going, he can compete with any of these guys. So it's a very fun range, like you said. Pick your poison, see where it lands. Scotty's the clear-cut number one, though, if you can make it work. 9K range, you got Shane Lowry at 98, Victor Hovland at 97, Fleetwood at 95, Neiman at 93, Tom Kim at 92, and Alexander Noren all the way up to $9,000.
Yeah, it's a lot. I'll start with Shane Lowry at 9,800. Has actually played this golf course a lot. 2018 finished 16th, missed the cut in 17. 2012 finished 17th. Coming off back-to-back top 10s. Including the Open Championship where he finished 6th after having a terrible Sunday. Tommy Fleetwood actually won an event here in 2017, missed the cut in every other year that he's played at an event at this golf course. Coming off a missed cut at the Open Championship. But, when you talk about hitting fairways and hitting greens, it's Tommy Fleetwood. And then Noren, 9,000. Actually won an event here in 2018. 2019 finished 18th, 2017 finished 10th, 2016 finished 8th. So he's played here a lot, and back-to-back top 15s for him, 13th at the Open and 10th at the Scottish Open. So obviously playing really well. It's hard to stomach a $9,000 Alexander Noren, but here we are, and I would not talk anybody out of playing him this week for sure.
Yeah, he's projected to be about 14% rostered at the time. The only person lower in the 9K range is Vic Hovland, who seems lost at the moment. But again, elite golfer, so no one to be shocked if he shows up. But I'm going to be off of Vic, and I love a guy like Lowry. I always love Lowry when it's not a massive golf course where you can find the fairway. Approach game comes into play. Very good at avoiding bogeys and sticking around. So I don't mind Lowry at all. Love Fleetwood. I think everyone is going to love Tommy Fleetwood this week. Looking at early ownership, close to 19% for Tommy Fleetwood this week, and that makes sense. Like, he's played great here. He has the perfect game for a golf course like this, so I have zero problem with Tommy Fleetwood. Tom Kim, I like as well. He's 9th in my model. When you're talking his approach game's on point these days, and playing some really, really good golf. And then I like Noren. I'm with you. Like, if people keep saying the whole, and I agree with what you said, it's hard to stomach a 9K Noren, but if that becomes a growing sentiment and I can get a lower owned Alexander Noren, I'll take my chances, because he's one of those guys that, we're talking no cut event, and he usually pops for like one round of just going bonkers. He's like an EVR who we'll talk about later, just has that monster round, and hopefully that keeps him around long enough to put up some more DK points for you. So don't mind some Noren as well. Neiman's the only one I'm struggling with because of the whole live thing. You don't have a lot of rounds to look at here overall, but I know a lot of people are talking about Neiman. He was 58th at the British Open, so that doesn't really do it for me. So I'll probably be off of him, but I get it, because when Neiman's on, he's one of the better par 5 scorers in the field, let alone approach game players as well. 8K range, you got Connors at 89, Matsuyama at 88, Fitz at 87, J-Day at 86, Straka at 85, Minwoo Lee at 84, Dietrich 83, Benny on 82, Wyndham Clark 81, and Matthew Pavon, the Frenchie, at 8,000.
Yeah, Corey Connors, 8,900, ball striker extraordinaire, playing very, very solid golf. 25th at the Open, 10th at the Scottish Open. Hasn't finished outside the top 30 since the Heritage back in April. Hideki at 8,800. He's just a guy I feel like is a great GPP play because no cut event can just go off at any moment. Thomas Dietrich at 8,300. So I figured out that the Open de France is played here, at least has been played here for the last few years.
91.
Yeah. And Dietrich's played it plenty of times. I don't know where he finished this past year or last year, but 8th in 2019, 16th in 2018. So he's got some good course history there. And then been on at 8,200, 20th in his one start here in 2015. Made the cut at the Open Championship, finished 13th after back-to-back missed cuts, which were the Scottish Open and the U.S. Open. But a dude who he wasn't on that team that got the medal in like the Asian Games and got out of the service
that was Sung Jae and wasn't it Siwoo?
Yeah, that's what I think so.
Yeah.
So been on 8,200, got a little extra motivation there to play well, and I think if he gets a gold medal, he gets out of the military service, right? I think he's
I believe you're correct. Yes.
I think he's a Korean national originally.
Yep. So pulling for Benny. An 8K range for me, I 100% agree with Connors. 6th in my model, obviously one of the best approach guys, but it's 3rd in his field in par 5 scoring, which stood out in a big way. Par 5s from 550 to 600, which all 3 are on this course, so that's pretty big. I'm with you. I'm always been a Hideki guy because he always comes in lower owned than he should be, and it's just a matter of can his back hold up. But if he can show up like he's first in scrambling in this field, he's 4th from tee to green. Like there's a lot of things that play well for Hideki. Sepp Straka at 85. He's 2nd in the field in good drives, which gets me intrigued because he has one of the best approach games in this field. So Sepp Straka at 85 could be a guy I wouldn't be shocked if we see him near the top of the leaderboard when all things are said and done. I don't mind the Dietrich and the Bignon calls as well. So I'm kind of staying at the top of the 8K range for the most part. But if you need to go down to Dietrich or Bignon, don't hate it at all. All right, 7K range, you got Carlos Ortiz, Adrian Meronk, Hogard, Answer, Ryan Fox, Guido, Seabez, Thorben Olsen, Victor Perez, the other Frenchie, and EVR and Mateo Monacero. Who do you like here?
Meronk at 7,800. He's playing on Live Tour. He did play the Open Championship, finished 50th there. Højgaard at 7,700. I liked him more before I just saw been playing obviously a lot of PGA Tour events. Been making cuts, but his finishes are very blah. But he's a guy who has got a lot of length and could potentially, exploit that this week. Guido, I won't say his last name either, has played at this golf course in the Open de France plenty of times. Made the cut at the Open Championship. I think he's fine. I really like Thorboin. Say Olsen.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll just say Olsen. Thurboin, whatever, $7,200 Olsen. Butcher his name. 3 straight made cuts for him on the PGA Tour. And then Monacero at 7,000. He has missed the cut in 4 straight attempts at this golf course, but is coming off a solid Open Championship, a solid Scottish Open Championship, and hasn't missed a cut since the U.S. Open. Hasn't missed any cuts on the European Tour since late April. And then EVR at 7,000, man. I mean, two missed cuts for him at this course. Missed cut coming off 3M Open, but he's just a guy who can just pop out of nowhere. Like the Rocket Mortgage Classic, he finished 6th after a missed cut at the U.S. Open. So I just trying to play some upside here with some of these guys.
So you're saying EVR likes to find the drink. Got it. With the golf courses, but I'm with you. I like EVR just because if we're looking boom or bust on a no-cut event, EVR's got that boom. So I'll take that all day. Vic Perez at 71, the local, who is playing really good golf coming into this. He's 26th in my model, but scrambling's good. His bogey avoidance is good. His par 5 scoring is good. Probably knows this golf course very well. So I'll take my chances on Vic Perez. I like Guido at 74, fairway finder, good approach game as well. And then I have Abraham Answer at 76. You know, he's on live, so he's doing whatever he's doing over there. But when he's on, he's really good at finding the fairways. Like over his last 24 rounds that we have with PGA stuff, he's 6th in good drives in this field. Approach game's pretty solid. And we know he can be a birdie machine when he's locked in. So I'll take Abe Answer at 76 as well for hopefully a lower owned play. All right, 6K range. I am not going to try to pronounce all these names. So who do you like down here?
The only one I got checked off is CT Pan. Obviously, the bronze medalist last
good
time
event
out.
history.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's obviously some guys down here who may pop. It's just hard to say. Maybe Zanotti.
Yeah, I got him marked off.
He's played this golf course a lot, so he knows it. He's coming off a miscut, the Barracuda of all places, but he could be a guy. I would love to click on Toasty if he didn't shoot 1,000 last weekend. Yeah, you tell me, man.
Well, I got Zanotti as well at 62. If you need to go basement dive in here, he's 16th in my model, 12th in good drives, pretty good approach game numbers, scrambling as well. So I don't mind him at 62. CT Pam at 65. He's 10th in my model. He's a fairway finding machine with a good approach game. So I like that. And then a few others like Nick Taylor at 67. I don't hate him. He's not one of my favorites, but he's PGA winner, so I don't mind that at 67. I do like Grillo quite a bit. Grillo's been playing some pretty decent golf of late. He missed 24th at the 3M, 43rd at the Open Championship. He's a guy that we always talk about. Can his putter get going? Because he can get off the tee pretty well. His approach game's pretty good. It's just finding his putter. So I don't mind Grillo at all at 68. And then Mito Pereira at 68 as well. He's 15th in my model again on live. So who knows what we get out of him. But with the numbers I have, he's 11th in this field in good drives. Very good at bogey avoidance. 8th in tee to green in this field. So I think Mito at 68 is another guy I wouldn't be opposed to. All right, let's recap things. 10K and above.
Scotty Scheffler.
Yep. I'll go John Rahm to be different, but it's Scotty Scheffler. 9K range.
Noren.
I'll go Fleetwood. 8K range.
Dietrich.
I'll go Sepp Straka. 7K range.
Olsen.
I will go with Victor Perez and 6K range.
Zanotti.
I will go with CT Pan. So just by looking at the list here, I'm going to be hanging around in this 8K range. I have a feeling I'm not the biggest 7K fan. So this will be an interesting lineup build when all things are said and done. We do not play cash on weeks like this. So if you're building a GPP lineup, Jesse, who are you looking at?
I got Scotty, Noren, and Zanotti.
I like that quite a bit. To be different, because I do like that a lot. If I just skip the top, which is probably dead to rights in a field like this, I would say if you went Fleetwood, Noren, and Sepp Straka, that'd be a fun build. But I think you're going to need at least one 10K guy to get home on this one. All right, who you got winning this thing?
Yeah, it's not a great betting week. DK does have the double chance with Scotty or Rory at plus 225. I don't mind that. I'm looking at these odds. I'm just trying to figure out something, and it's just really hard for me to come up with much because these odds are so short with Scheffler at 3.5 and then like Rory at 7.5. It's bizarre how short these odds are, in my opinion. And it's hard to bet anybody really kind of longer shot past about Sepp Straka. Maybe like a Ben on top 10 at plus 260. I don't like this. I don't like these odds at all.
Yeah, they're very tough odds. I was looking for like if there's just an odds to medal. I think that would be fun. You would think they would have something like
a top
that,
3. Well, I mean, you could bet top 5, including ties, but
that's tough though. Still, these are bad odds. This is not ideal.
Like even the top 20s are terrible.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't get into plus money to get down to Seabez, and Seabez is even money to
top
it's not
20.
Gonna happen.
I would maybe throw a few darts at some long shot top 10s and like it's still tough. Like you're gonna put EVR or Victor Perez or something like that in a top 10.
Right.
That's tough. That's like Straka at plus 220 to top 10, Hideki at plus 210, Noren at plus 170. I guess that'd be a couple, but this might not be a week, folks. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy watching and root for your country or something because it's a tough one. Make a couple DK lines, have some fun with some no-cut events, but the betting side of things is a little on the rougher side, one might say.
Yeah.
All right. We knew that'd be a quickie. We got the Wyndham Championship next week before the playoffs start up. We're almost done with technically the season before the fall swing and whatever entails there. So any final thoughts as we head into the Olympics that tee off early on Thursday or late Wednesday night? Depends on how you look at it, folks.
Yeah, I don't have much. I mean, it'll be fun to see who does come out on top. Just, I mean, the Olympics are, in my opinion, really fun to watch, all the way around, and I don't even have to have a bet on them to enjoy watching it. So, yeah, just looking forward to seeing who comes out and wins.
Yeah, and I really do enjoy this golf course. So I'm kind of curious to see how it plays out. I think it's a very fair golf course. I tend to, I think, like a lot more Euro golf because I'm not a bomber myself. So I appreciate guys that can bring the field together, and then you actually have to hit shots into the green to succeed.
Right.
So kind of looking forward to seeing how this one plays out. And it'd be so fitting if it was like Fleetwood and Noren and Straka or somebody and all the big boys disappear. It'd be very, very funny because everything I've listened to so far, it's all Scotty Scheffler, John Rahm, they're winning it. Just go home. I'm like, that's a lot of other golfers. But I will say there's only 20 of the top 50 in the world at this event. And sure, some of the live guys you could probably argue are in the top 50, but there's technically only 20 in the top 50. So it's a pretty depleted field, as you'd expect.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Make sure you check out Jesse on Twitter at DFS Golf Gods, the podcast at Always Press DFS. I'm at BD Intric. We'll be back to you guys next week with the Wyndham, but enjoy the Olympics. We'll catch you all next time.